We started a drive we'll never finish.
We'll finish the drive, Mailer. And I'll sell my beef in Missouri.
What do we eat on the way?
Beef.
What do we drink?
Beef. 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 Beef.
I'm heading south.
Beef.
I've had enough, Dunstan. Unless we try for Abilene.
Beef. 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 Beef again? Yeah.
Hello everybody and welcome to the diaries. Today I'm going to show you some stuff dealing with our new film project. Now, we had a really cool event take place, whereas we got a nice big donation, big is a relative term of course, to Kid Stuff Films, which is going to help us be able to make this film. So we're pretty excited about that. But I'm going to show you some of our pre-production meeting. These are things that we don't really do on a regular basis, but should. And some of this is going to go on the behind the scenes on the finished DVD. Also, more on the on some of the props and so forth. And I think it'll be pretty cool. So let's get going. All right, one of the other weapons that they find is the stone sword. Now this is just a plastic sword. I bought it at the plastic sword store. And I think out at Party City. What we're going to do is this is Krylon stone coarse texture paint. So you see the lid, it looks like stone, and that's what this does. You have to shake it for like 72 days for it to mix properly. But we're going to use that on most of the sword, and then we'll wrap the handle. Probably I'll throw some leather on the handle there, but the rest of the sword needs to be stone. And the top is not going to come off. All right.
Cement mixer, party, party. Cement mixer, party.
This stuff smells funny. It's not really paint. Alright. That's first coat on side one. Let that dry out a little bit, and we'll do the rest of it. I'll show you what it looks like after. Alright. Let me put this thing here. Alright, we are working on the bamboo crossbow. It needs to look like it was made possibly by Robinson Crusoe when he found the magic berries. So we're going to mount this here, tie it to the front, and our cross piece will come out through here or through here, and then it'll have the cord, the bowstrings will come back to this point here. And I have to have something right here. So that's what we're doing. That's where we're doing. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Where we're doing it is right here. I'm listening to music of the natives of the American Northwest. And I could listen to this all day. And I probably will be. Besides, I have no head, see? So I'm going to be working this here. Now what I'll do is I'll attach these two together first. Then I'll attach them to here, and then I'll be wrapping it with more of the twine. It's not blazing hot, but it is kind of muggy today. Anyway, I have a pre-production meeting tomorrow with the cast and some of the crew of the new film project. So I'm trying to get as much of this stuff done so I have something that I can show them before we go over the importance of this particular project. And the main importance of this particular project is, I don't know, this could make or break us. For film, Kid Stuff Films. Film Stuff Kids, Kid Stuff Films. Because we've only released one film this year, and we no longer have a studio, a physical studio per se, so everything we're doing is kind of on the fly and on location.
What's up?
This only has to hold these together until I get them on the actual unit. Then I will tie them together with twine. By twine. Okay, you ready? Here it is. Tiki crossbow. Almost wound up in tiki trash can. Now used for tiki shooting. Shoot water spirit arrows. Or bolts, actually. And it doesn't have to be loaded. And it's, of course, not functioning because it's a prop. But it will function for the film. Here we go. It's back here. Chikapunga. Tiki crossbow. Okay, as many of you know, because I have mentioned it, I have been dealing with high blood pressure. A little over a month ago, I wanted to have dental work done, which still needs to be done, for those of you who can't tell when you look at me when I'm talking to you. And when they took my blood pressure, the first reading was about 180 something over 112. That's dangerously high. That is hypertensive crisis. So I have cut out caffeine from my diet. Those were 2 days that I do not want to live over again. Cut down sodium by a ton. Changed my eating habits a bit. Hopefully I will lose some weight too. So today, this being about a month and, like I said, a month and a week or so later, I'm going to do my blood pressure check right here. I'll speed up the film a bit so you don't have to see the whole thing run, at normal speed, but I'm going to do it here so we can see exactly what it is, and you'll know I'm not jiving you because I'm going to do it right here. So here we go. Move this little bit here. Here we go. All right, here we go. Well, my systolic is in the normal range, under 120. My diastolic is right at the upper end of the normal range, which is 80. 120 over 80 is considered normal, or under that. And then anything above that would be pre-hypertension, where you just kind of, you got to touch things up. But that's not too bad, considering what it has been. That's not too bad. I'm pretty happy with that. Well, I'm looking for a little snack of some sort here. I have to be very careful on everything I eat, including my snacking. So I don't buy any anymore. So I don't have much. But you know, I was at the grocery store, I guess 2 days ago, and it's just something that kind of crossed my mind. It's time for Eddie's Weekly Grind! Yeah! You know those packages of goldfish? You know, they're the little cracker with the smiley face on it, and it's, you know, there's cheese flavor, and there's pizza flavor, and there's barbecue flavor, and there's honey flavor, and this flavor and that flavor.
Beef.
The only flavor that's missing is seafood! It's a fish, for crying out loud! It's a goldfish! They could have a shrimp flavor, a salmon flavor, something along those lines, because it's a fish! And it's every flavor in the book but fish! Now, personally, I'm not a big fan of fish. I do like salmon and I do like tuna. But it's just like common sense. I would think that if you have a snack shaped like a fish, I don't know, maybe it should have a seafood flavor! And that notwithstanding, I don't see anything in here that I'm going to chew on for right now, so I guess we'll just bypass that and go to our next thing. We very, very rarely, matter of fact, only one other time have we ever had a pre-production meeting. But there's a lot of reasons why we want to do this. First of all, so our main cast can get together for a moment, because I don't know how many times we're all going to be working at the same time, but I know there's a couple of sequences where most of us will be. Alois is going to DP this for us, so I'm not concerned that we'll have any issues as far as camera work is concerned. We are getting a nice gift for this project, which is a drone with a camera mounted on it, which will be here in a little while, and we will be utilizing that for some of the sequences. Josh is a new cast member. This is Ramon, Connor, Cameron, Kylie, Alois. So this is going to be the one where we're going to put everything that we can, everything that we have into this project and make it good, make it believable, make it stronger and more powerful than anything we've done. Which means, right from the start, before I even go to the next part, I need a commitment from you guys that you're going to follow through with this. I can't, this is one of those rare times, and I remember telling you, Cam, a long time ago, that if another project comes up, you know, to take that one over this and so forth. This is one of those instances where I really need you to stay in this project, okay? And like I said, this is the first of two. I am thinking that we should wrap the entire thing and have both out by 2018. This one needs to be out early second quarter of 2017, which means between April and May.
So filming done by December.
Filming done by December.
What was it, a
plenty of
spider?
paper. No, it was a moth.
Oh god.
I don't like moths.
That's
It was just
fine.
meaning. I did it, and
They're
I went up to
annoying.
and he goes, I said, oh, I'm terribly sorry, moth. I thought you were a cockroach.
It's okay, I got it.
Yeah. So he flew into the lamp and died there.
Kylie has
Anyway,
a deathly.
I wanted to make sure that when we have a prop that we're going to use, that it at least looks feasible. And I figured that by doing a book where every page has something, we can always go in here and flip to a sequence. You know, when someone's turning a page, you'll always see something interesting. About a third of this is actually clues that you guys discover and figure out as the movie goes on. This is the video. You see what it does, and he swings downward. It causes an explosion right in front of him in the ground because it's an earth weapon. It's going to be a practical effect. I'm going to blow up a bunch of dirt right in front of your face. So be ready for that.
I have a lot of M80s that we can use.
No, we're not going to use M80s. We're going to use, I said it's a practical effect, not a pyrotechnic effect.
You keep the bottle rockets upside down.
why don't we just dig a hole and fill it with gasoline?
Yeah.
Because that's fire, not earth.
Oh, no, then we'll cover it with powdered iron, and we'll put some glue on it, and then we'll take a match and go, Gah!
Thermite.
First 15 minutes throughout their adventures and conflicts, as that bird is leading them the wrong way, they find clues within the conflict. We'll be brushing with them.
I kind of like that idea, but I have an alternate to that. What if, as they're going on their adventure, and they find their clues and their so forth, they start jotting it down, and they wind up making their own book, and then in the sequel, the sorceress steals their book
And then has more power.
and has.
Slow down, Slade. You were on her first.
No. Because we have to have a reason for that. How many bags?
Role in protecting, whatnot, watching over them and laying.
It's kind of Wheat's plan. I mean, that's what he's doing. He's playing the spoiler of sorceress
Okay.
because he knows what the sorceress is capable of because he's still a victim of her. So he's trying to protect them so they can defeat the sorceress. So
But isn't Wheat alongside with them?
no, Wheat is basically here, there, and everywhere. Wheat is is a mystical character
Okay.
because he's between realities.
Alright, that makes sense.
What's that?
What is he gonna look like?
He's gonna look like that guy right
He's
there.
gonna, okay, so he's gonna look like a person.
Yeah, he's gonna look like that guy, except he's gonna be wearing like I think it's like a burgundy tunic.
Okay.
You're gonna be wearing a tunic, son. A tunic.
I might be itchy. Is there like a map to get to the king's castle?
Yep, they get the map before they leave. Well, now that we have gone through all of that and I've checked my blood pressure while you were watching and it shows that it's in the good zone, I'm going to go out and have myself a big cup of coffee and a salt lick. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do anything like that. But, yeah, so that went pretty well. Well, that's what happens this week and a half that I think it's been since the last video. I know they're not happening a week apart, and they don't expect them to happen a week apart. I'll try, but I obviously can't guarantee it. Next episode, I think I'm going to show you a little bit more on games, but we're going to be doing a lot of work on this movie. As a matter of fact, we have a shoot this Saturday, so I might run a second camera and get some behind the scenes on that, which I can share with you guys. And we will see how that all works out. So, hope you'll be back for that. In the meantime, you guys have yourself a great week. End of line.